So, we're back. I just played Shawn a bunch of games, and it seemed that any game where I got to actually have lands, I did okay.
Yeah.
For pre-board, you definitely were just crushing me.
Yeah, pre-board I felt very advantageous. There were just too many threats that you had to deal with just 4 abrupt decays. And any of the hate bears or a Stoneforge could just go all the way.
Thalia actually did a lot of work in those games, too.
I'm sure it did.
Post-board, I was definitely doing a little better. The games where I actually, was able to have mana to do stuff.
Yeah, post-board I had some interesting 7s I looked at where I had like multiple Deathrites, but it was cold if you had a Deathrite or a Daze. It seemed like you didn't have any Dazes post-board, so...
Yeah, all the Dazes went out in the post-board.
Towards the end, I just stopped playing on it. I imagine you have a lot of sweepers to bring in, so you may want me to actually overextend, so I guess playing around Dazes not something I necessarily need to do, but at the same time I should hold stuff in hand. I did notice it was a bit awkward having to play both around him as well as sweepers. Vial does a great job of doing that, and that game 6 that I lost, I had a Vial that went up to 3 to drop 2 Knights in, and it was useless the rest of the way. And then
those are your only 3 drops in the entire deck, yeah.
So I noticed that was one reason I'd moved the Knights out of the board, but Vial does a lot of work until it's not relevant anymore, and I think that game 6 really exemplified how important it is to the deck. Allows me to play combat tricks, play around Liliana, discard sweepers at sorcery speed, but then when I didn't have it, the deck just like was really clunky and didn't do anything, and you were just beating me down with random creatures.
Turns out Tarmogoyf's still good.
Tarmogoyfs are quite good.
Even with Treasure Cruises, I was able to cruise once in a game and keep the Goyf the exact same size it had been.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. I looked at the die and like, okay, that's a thing.
I do think the whole Tarmogoyf not working with Treasure Cruise thing has been a little overstated. It can work just fine, and especially like playing against a deck like yours help, where you aren't really doing anything to your graveyard. Yeah, it's all on me to remove things from your graveyard, so I can kind of keep yours stocked as I need.
Certainly, I think if you were playing 2 Treasure Cruise mirrors, the Goyf might have been a liability. Often they could like bolt it and then delve their graveyard, and you don't have a chance to respond because it's a cost and dies as a state-based effect. In my case, I never really touched my graveyard. I could never move enchantments, planeswalkers, or artifacts, which I had plenty of, so you're able to keep Goyf at a reasonable size, and I had no direct damage to really punish the Goyf.
Yeah, but like I said, when your game plan went off, when you're starting 7, I just got crushed.
Yeah, the deck has some nut draws where like an innocuous creature just like totally wrecks face, and it's
Weathered Wayfarer, guys.
Weathered Wayfarer.
New tech.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks a lot for the game.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Pleasure being here.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.